Yo, what's good, people? Today we have a review, a very special review, because I have the new Overdrive Neo, as you can see. Now you can tell it's an Overdrive Neo because of the plexi, but I have an Overdrive Neo, and why this is so special is because I actually teamed up with Overdrive and the team that works on the products. We went through multiple iterations of the Overdrive and we kind of found ourselves at the Overdrive Neo. So this is the first time that I've kind of handled the controller, that I've seen it in person. Again, the reason why it's so special is because, I had input in this controller as well. So when it comes down to like the finer details, so what switches to include in the buttons, layouts, extra buttons, and so on and so forth. So I had some input in the controller, and I'm excited for you guys to also get your hands on this controller because the team works so hard on this controller, and obviously now we have the product in the flesh, and I can't wait to test the Overdrive Neo. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, like and help with the algorithm. Commenting will also help with the algorithm, and subscribing will let me know that you enjoyed the content. Let's get into it. Okay, standout features for me are the consistency of the buttons is insane. The consistency is insane. And the weight, again, is crazy. I don't know how they're doing it in terms of like just how sturdy the controller is and how light it is, but how planted it is on your lap. It's really interesting, actually, how they can do that. I know the case is aluminium, so it's probably, aluminium is durable, but it's light also. It's pretty much that, but it's like how they're constructing it is very interesting. So again, standout features for me on immediate kind of, impressions is the weight, the plantedness, the sturdiness of it is still the same. Great. The new buttons that they are offering are actually Overdrive buttons. So it's not like, we're putting gamer fingers in, or we're putting nth buttons in, or we're putting like sample buttons. These are actually Overdrive's own buttons. So these are incredible. And as I said previously, I did give my input on these buttons, and I can vouch for these buttons. And I've spent some time with, the prototypes and the iterations and stuff to make them as they are today. And they are great. Inputs, perfect. Texture, perfect. Again, it does have RGB, but this time it's interesting because they have a slider. It's kind of like a slider knob. And what I like about this is the color range is really sensitive, so you can really get fine shades of like blue, for example. So you can get an aqua, you can get a light blue, you can get a teal. Previously you were kind of limited to white, blue, I think it was red and yellow, I believe, but now you can pick whatever color on the spectrum that you want, really. I mean, this feature is kind of crazy. It's the one thing I do like about Overdrive is that they are very innovative in their design and their creative choices. Usually a lot of manufacturers are very safe and they want to kind of go with what the masses will gravitate to, but I think sometimes taking a risk with innovative ideas can really take off, and we're seeing that with Overdrive at the moment. They're always sold out, so I can vouch for their products. I think they're very good. They're very innovative. And also, just the team, because I've spoken to the team in person, at VSF last year. So I can tell you that the team are lovely. It's always nice to show my support to people that actually care about their products and care about the customers. Most importantly, caring about the customers that use their products. They're not just, trying to sell you a product and then leave you on the lurch kind of thing. It's kind of like they are very responsive. They will kind of retweet your stuff on Twitter, and, they just show genuine support. So I like to show my support for, independent companies that are working hard. Another one is Arcade Stick Indonesia, independent, hardworking team, and they produce really good products. So for me personally, because I'm an arcade parts enthusiast, any company that I see putting in the hard work and supporting their, customers, I will support you. It doesn't matter. In this review, we're going to go over tech specs. We're going to go over sound testing as well. There's going to be a section with sound testing. We're going to go over inputs and how the controller just generally feels. And also we're going to do a playtest at the end. So we're going to, cover a wide range of topics so you can get more of an idea of the controller. We're going to talk about components inside as well. We're going to look at the wiring. We're going to really dissect the controller and look at every aspect so you can really see what you're getting for your money. Okay, so this is the first time I'm actually opening the box. Let's see what we have inside. So it looks like we have quick start guide, which is nice. This is new actually. So we have changing SOCD, not sure if you can see that, changing SOCD, swapping cables, and console and PC connectivity. So that's good. Check out the back. Oh, it tells you how to open up the rear panel, changing buttons, and how to configure the Overdrive, which is very nice. So this is, I think, will be quite nice for people that aren't really comfortable opening up peripherals and tinkering with stuff. Because I think really the beauty of, Leverless and arcade parts in general is the fact that you can open stuff up and customize stuff to your liking. I really, really enjoy that part. I might be enjoying it too much by, you know, how much stuff I'm just purchasing and you know, tinkering with. But yeah, this is really, really cool to see. Okay, so we're going to just take it out of the bag, which is nice to see return because I really did enjoy the kind of soft felt. It was quite nice. Yeah, this is sick. This is sick. So immediately I can see plexi, which is nice because that will allow you to put custom art. You know, if I'm personally a fan of the kind of plain aluminium, like I don't really tend to customize my controllers with art. I like to keep stuff stock and very simple. So I'll probably remove this and just play on the aluminium itself because it just feels it's very, very comfortable. And that's one thing that I did like about the V1 Overdrive is that the aluminium is just very, very comfortable to play on. It's just a very comfortable compact case in general, but now you have plexi. So you can keep it on or you can remove it. Choice is yours. I'm personally probably gonna take it off, but I do actually really like the button cutouts and these buttons are fantastic. Just by pressing them, I can feel the texture's insane. Yeah, these buttons are sick. I think you can just pop off the cap and double check what switches they have inside. I believe they might be cherry silvers. I think they're cherry silvers, but obviously they support fully sized switches, so you can just swap them out. I'm probably going to swap these out for Kel Speed Silver just because I prefer Kel Speed Silvers. But that's the advantage of being able to, you know, the switches being hot swappable is you can take out the switch and replace them with a switch that you enjoy. So I like cherry speed silvers, but I personally prefer Kel speed silvers. So I'm probably gonna replace all the switches, which is you know, another plus for the Overdrive Neo. I'm gonna do a playtest with these and I'll kind of give you my verdict on the buttons. But so far, just from initial impressions, these feel super high quality just because of the tech. I think it's the texture for me. The texture for me really, because it's like you can really press on the buttons and they're not going to go anywhere. It's kind of insane, and that's something that I did kind of struggle with my gamer fingers. I love my gamer fingers, but it's just the material is a bit too glossy, and sometimes I did have problems with my fingers slipping off. But with this, it's like 3D printed texture and your fingers are not going to slip anywhere. So as you can see, still has the felt bottom, which is personally for me, this is the best anti-slip material that I've felt on a peripheral before. It just, the thickness of it is really nice as well. So it's quite thick, quite sturdy and soft at the same time. So I think the choice of materials is really, really good. And yeah, I mean, even the etched logo's great. But yeah, if you haven't felt a lot of tongue twisters in this video. If you haven't felt before, you're really gonna like this. I think you're really, really gonna like this material. It's the best. Okay, I'm going to open up the controller. So it looks like it has 4 screws, so 1 in each corner. So 1 here, 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 and here. So you would need a generic Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so this is the second screw. I'm gonna screw all of these off and then I'm gonna jump to when I have fully opened up the controller. Okay, now we have the screws off. Let's see in wow. This is insane. What? Look at the cabling. Yeah, the cabling's insane. Super clean, super clean inside. So this board is a PS5 Plus, so you know, native PS5 support, which is nice. Brock, so you're gonna get the fastest speeds. So we can see all the buttons are screw in. And it also, what is nice about the Overdrive is that it has noise absorbing material inside. Okay, let's say for example you wanted to change the switch. How would you go about doing that? So you just disconnect these cables. Does require a little bit of force. Try not to rip it out. Try to hold them by the kind of the right angle connection. Otherwise there is a risk of kind of ripping the cable out. So just be a little bit gentle. And so these are screw in. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put our finger over the button we want to remove and just unscrew it. So here we are. As you can see, unscrewed. And the button just kind of falls out the other side. So now we have the 30mm jump button here. So now the button fell out the other side. Now what we can do is take the cap off and replace the switch because the switch is hot swappable. So it's advised to kind of, what I would do is I'd get a switch puller and just literally pull it out and then replace the switch inside, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace these with Kel Silvers just because that's my, you know, switch of choice. But I still like the switches that come stock. These are actually the switches that come in the Gamer Fingers. So if you've ever tried Gamer Fingers and you really like them, yeah, you're gonna love these. So that's the process on how to remove a button and if you wanted to change the switch. And then to put it back in, you just do the process in reverse. So kind of slot that button in and then you screw. Don't over tighten them because that way it's going to be really difficult for you to get them back out if you wanted to change them. So just tighten them so that they don't move type situation, because if you over tighten them, it's going to be very difficult to get them back out, especially with these ones, you know, like where you don't have as much room to kind of slot your fingers in. If you screw them too tight, it's going to be very difficult for you to remove them in the future. So I would kind of just screw them down until they don't move and then you're pretty much good to go. So then you're going to rewire. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just slotting these back on. So the top one's already slotted back on and then the bottom one is now slotted back on. So now the cabling is fine. So with the cap, I still have the cap. So what we're going to do now is turn it back over and then put the cap back on. So very much custom friendly. Gotta actually put it on. So yeah, very much custom friendly. I really like how easy it is to kind of customize to, you know, your liking with switches, and the plexi is really nice as well. Okay, so now looking into the bag, we have our, you know, I think it's a 3-meter braided USB-C cable. So I'm gonna have to kind of butcher the bag to get it open. So here we are. So yeah, this is looks like 3 meters to me. So you have USB-C, as you can see there, I believe you can see it. And yeah, nice thick braided cable. So pretty much not going to break unless you destroy the cable. And then obviously, yeah, you have your USB-A connection. I'm gonna try and focus it. Yeah, there we are. So your USB-A connection, USB-C to the controller. It's plugged in. The lighting's on in my room, so it's probably not gonna, I'm gonna turn the lights off so you can see it better, but just for demonstration purposes, you click this side button in to turn the lights on. Okay, so it's now white. So if I'm turning the knob a little bit, now it goes blue. And the thing that I like about this is the precision in shade. So one turn of the knob will change the shade ever so slightly, so you can really fine tune that color that you want. So for example, this is green now, and it's kind of like a teal / green mix. Now I'm going to turn it once more. Now it's even more green, so it looks like more of a brighter green. I'm going to turn it once more again, more of a limey green. Now it's turning to yellow, so now it's lime green. I'm going to turn it again, transitioning into yellow. It's not quite yellow yet, but it's transitioning. So I'm going to turn it once more. This is now yellow. So you can really see the shade. And to show you what I mean, this is the dial. So turning it, changing color, you can kind of see it here. I'm literally just cycling through the colors. This is a crazy feature. This is insane. So I really do like this feature, the RGB. So the Neo actually comes in 3 colors. So it comes in black, comes in white, and comes in purple. They actually have pictures of what they look like as well. So again, interestingly, you can take the plexi off and use, you know, the controller with no plexi, as you can see here on the purple. So the PCB, you have a choice of the Brook P5 Plus or the Brook Fusion. There is a table that kind of describes what each board is compatible with. So if you care about Xbox, get a Fusion. If not, just get a P5 Plus. And to be honest, I was saying this earlier, but the Brook P5 Plus is actually slightly quicker now than the Brook Fusion, because Brook released an update to reduce latency even further. So if you care about speed and you don't care about Xbox, this is the board that you should choose. Okay, so now I'm just testing out the buttons, and first and foremost, the texture's so good. I think it's my favorite thing about the button, to be honest. So clean. Look how clean these inputs are. Crazy. so clean. These inputs are, it's just the buttons are crisp. It's kind of a mixture between the speed silvers inside and the texture is a really, really nice combination for me. I just prefer speed silvers because I'm pretty sure the actuation force is 45 grams, and I feel like that's a perfect kind of balance between not getting misinputs resting your fingers on the buttons, but also light enough to be responsive. I don't like buttons that are really, really light, like Samuel buttons, because I rest my fingers kind of like I either hover or I rest, and sometimes I'll just get misinputs and, you know, my fingers will actuate a button by accident. And so I feel like speed silvers are the best in that regard. So, you know, they're very responsive, but you don't really get misinputs. And also, one issue for a lot of players in Tekken 8 is double button inputs. So it's quite consistent when, you know, throw breaking and stuff like that. For me, at least, anyway. So very much enjoying these inputs. Like, look at the backdash. Like, this is kind of insane. In Tekken 7, I did have a backdash kind of test. Unfortunately, there's kind of no test that is like Lay's Razor Rush, but I can tell you from just using the buttons that the inputs are so clean. Like, okay, let me show you. So I'm going to put the big screen on in terms of the big game. And so you'll see in the backdash that the down back is always 1 frame, near enough. I'm going to try to show you. So look at the backdash. So it's back, down, back, back. So actually you are vulnerable in that down back frame. So my down back input in every one of those backdashes, so 3 backdashes in a row, have 1 frame of down back. That's insane. That's insane. That's a just frame backdash cancel. That is literally a just frame backdash cancel because I'm pressing down back for 1 frame.
Round 2. Fight.
Finished. Oof, with punish.
Round 3. Fight.
Nice. Oof. Yeah, these were really good. Literally had 0 misinputs.
Fight.
Nice. Nice. Oh, lucky hop kick. Let's see what I can do. Can I make the comeback? Oh, made the comeback. Nice.
Round 3. Fight.
Can Harada break throws? Don't think so. Shall we time Harada out? Ah, he whiffed. Couldn't let it fly. Yeah, I really enjoy these buttons, man. Really, really enjoy them. It's the texture for me. I really enjoy the texture. It's always nice to see something you worked on and something you had input in turn out so clean. Okay, what's my final verdict on the Overdrive Neo? I really love the buttons. I think they're the standout for me. Personally, I like the plexi. I might remove the plexi just because I like the aluminium feeling by itself. The plexi is really nice for people that want to, you know, put art on the Overdrive Neo. So that's a really, really nice inclusion. As I said, for me, the buttons are a standout. I really like how they kind of kept to the compactness of the controller. So they, you know, they have the same aluminium casing, compact, it's light, but it's planted. It's a really interesting blend of the three. Super, super solid product. And also one thing to bring attention to is actually, if you look inside, you'll have seen some B-roll shots by now, but the Brook P5 Plus is in the Overdrive. We all know Brook has a Fusion, it has a UFB, it has, you know, a PS3, PS4 board, it has a P5 Plus. So it can be a little bit confusing for people that, you know, aren't familiar with the Brook boards. All I can say is now the P5 Plus that's in this controller is the fastest board on the market, because previously it was neck and neck between, you know, the GP 2040 CE, the Brook Fusion, the Brook UFB, and also the Brook P5 Plus. I use Leverless for my main controller, right? So I know what the majority of players will be looking for in a Leverless style controller. So I kind of gave them advice. Even when it came down to the buttons, I pushed for certain things that I know a lot of players will appreciate. So, you know, having the products in front of me is really, really exciting. And I can't wait for all of you who watched the video to get your hands on the Overdrive Neo. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.